Hey students, so today we are going to discuss the topic of comparing text. Okay, so in this class you will be able to look at two different authors writing about the same event and explain how they tell the story differently. Okay, so comparing and contrasting, you will also practice writing your answer in clear and complete sentences. Okay, so are the objectives. Okay, so read this paragraph or letter, and it basically gives you a quick reading exercise with two completely different viewpoints on the exact same card. Okay, so read this. Account one. Okay, so basically it's about that officer writes a report stating he found an abandoned car on September 27th. It had flat tires, was covered in dirt, had a broken window, animals living inside, and its license plate tags were expired. He had it towed away. Okay? Okay. Also read this, and then I will ask some questions from you. Okay? So pause the video and read this. Okay, so it is about that Mr. Edward files a complaint saying the police improperly towed his car while he was away on vacations. He claims his registration was renewed, the dirt was just tree sap, and the tires leak slowly. He says the window was broken and the animals got inside after it was taken to the impound lot, and he wants the police to pay for the damages. Okay, so these are the two incidents related to each other. Like the first one is from the officer side, and the second one is from Mr. Edward side. Okay, so okay, how do the passage present the information differently? Like this shows a question about the two stories and gives a sample of great answer. Okay, so how do the passage present the information differently? Like it is different in the sense like the police officer looks at the car and sees an abandoned mess that needs to be towed according to the rules. Okay, and the owner looks at the exact same car and sees his personal property that was left unattended just for a vacation. So the lesson here is that the two people can look at the same facts but tell completely different stories based on their perspective. Okay. Okay, so So this is the answer. Like the police officer viewed the station differently than the owner, and the officer saw an abandoned car that was not cared for and followed protocol, taking it to a impound lot. Okay, and basically it shows the perspective of the two different people. Okay, like two different people can look at the same facts but tell completely different stories based on their perspective. Okay. Okay. So the next one is compare and contrast. Okay. This is a link. You have to click it and then you have to watch this video and then you have to write your answer. Okay. So, in this slide basically teaches you the definition and clue words to look for when looking at the two different texts. Okay. So I will tell you what is compare and contrast means. Like compare means looking for how things are alike or the same. And contrast means that looking for differences or opposite. Okay. So what does it mean to compare? Yes, it means that comparing means looking for how things are like or the same. Okay. So you have to check the options to view the relationship between two things, to see how things are alike, to examine the qualities that are the same. Yes. So the answer is to see how things are alike. Okay. And what does the contrast means? Like to show the difference on unlikeness, the opposite, or the state of being different from something else. So we can say that contrasting means looking for differences or opposites. Okay. So single word compare, contrast. Like words like alike, same as, similar to, and likewise tell you things are the same. And words like however, in contrast, or the other hand, and different from tell you things are different. Okay. So to compare and contrast non-fictional text, ask yourself the following question. Okay. So, what is the main idea of each passage? Okay, these are the, I think the slides, sequence of slides is disturbed. So, these are the two texts. You have to read this, and then you have to answer these five questions. Okay, so let's read this. Okay, so you can say that the text one talks about all insects, like it is a broad scope or main idea, and says they are beautiful and interesting. Okay. And text two only talk about spiders, which is narrow scope, and says they are terrifying. Okay. So basically, you can say it's a scope or a broad scope or narrow scope. And the comparison is that both texts are about bugs. But text one finds them fun, while text two finds them scary. Okay. And it's your assignment that you have to tell me that how is each passage organized and what is the author's purpose in writing each passage. Okay. So here are the some practice questions. Okay. Check your answers to make sure it meets the following criteria. So So basically, you're asked to read the two real world articles about a high speed travel tube called the Hyperloop and answer two questions on notebook paper. Okay, so read these passages, then we will discuss its answer. And the slide basically reminds you to use the race strategy to write your answers, restate the question, like answer it, cite proof from the text, and explain how your proof fits. Okay. So, here are the questions like, did you write incomplete sentences? Did you use standard conventions like spelling, punctuation, and grammar? And did you answer the questions and did you support and explain your answer using details from the article? So, the passage you're reading, like it shows that both articles agree the hyperloop could be real one day. However, the first article gives general history like how Elon Musk got the idea from a slow train, while the second article focuses deeply on specific details regarding uh, cost, jobs, and the economy, etc. Okay.